What's up, everybody? How are you? Happy Monday. It is February 20th. Can you believe that? Time is flying in this world we live in. And what are we going to say? Just going to keep enjoying life and living it to the best of our ability. I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I sure did. The brunch party was off the chain and it was a complete success. Thank God. God's blessing us with that. And I love it. It was This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Alyson Williams. She'll be coming in a few. And that's Malika in the background doing her thing. Of course, Soft Real Talk is sponsored by Soft Illusions, uh, Daily Arts and Survival Magazine, Ingram Taxes. It's tax season. I got to get my taxes together, too. Reggie Wells Quality Speakers, Melba Wilson, and Leon Ellis Chocolate, and Harlem Underground. I am Bill Forster, if you didn't know that by now. And I'm trying to give you the best I can give you every time we come on. We won't be here next Monday. Malika and I have something to do. We'll be here Wednesday, as Stefania says it, with the cop crew, but we won't just be doing cop stuff. I mean, we talk about. We talk about anything. Loving God, how are you, Brand? It's always a good pleasure to see you. How was your weekend? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I did. And what's going on? If you have questions for Alyson, please put them in. Let her know what you want to talk about. Real talk. We're never scripted. We just converse and kick it and just talk about what we want to talk about all the time at any time. What's happening in the world today? Let's see. Politics, Russia, Ukraine. What'd you say, brother? Good in yourself. Thanks for asking. Absolutely. God, thank you for the support all the time. For those that are chiming in and will be chiming in, please subscribe to it. Let me know what you think about it, how you're feeling about Real Talk. We always appreciate the support. It is always important to hear from you guys all the time. We love it. We really do. You make the show work. Let's see. Politics. Anything going on in the politics world? I don't know. Hey, Christina, what's up? How are you? How's school? Let me know if you still need me for career day. I'm always willing to do that, of course, for you. Christina was the one that started me really in doing speaking engagements, going to schools and talking to people. I always appreciate you for that, Chris. Gave me another career. Gave me another career. What's happening in the world today? Everything is kind of quiet, right? Like just the typical stuff. Anything that I should talk about, sweetie, or that you know of?
It's a lot going on in the world.
Well, it is a lot going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Good subject. Let me see. Might be how to buy the land where you live. That's a good thing. And maybe I'll have to get somebody in here that can talk about real estate more in depth with everybody. There was something I know with the airports. There were power outage went out in the airports. Like that'd be crazy. Yeah, people need to start purchasing things, no matter if it's co-op condos, housing, land. Land is very important to do that. All-Star Weekend, it was terrible. I didn't like it at all. I remember how they used to play back in the days. It seemed like it was good competition. It's terrible now. It's terrible now. Shout out to the guy, McMullen, whatever his name is. White guy, had some ups. Cancun has some really cheap condos, really. And what's so funny? People, what are you going to do with your money? Start investing it in something like you said, like Chris said, Cancun, you know, live abroad, when you want to get away from the summer because the city is still the city. What are we going to do? People are still getting shot. What's up, niece? Dana, I see you. She says, hey, Malika.
Hey, Dana.
Hey, Yvonne, what's going on? I know Yvonne, her and John, y'all living in DR. Yeah, y'all not playing. I ain't mad at you at all for that. We bought in DR. Absolutely. That's a good place to be. This disparity between Black equity and all others. Blacks have the least love as far as wanting to see everyone doing well. That looks like them. Hey, Mila, what's going on? Hello from Europe. Oh, I appreciate you, sis. I know it's been a while since you've been in New York, but when you come back, you make sure you come back in the summertime so you can come by the brunch party. And I know you're still doing your photography, but shout out to everybody all over the world, wherever you're watching from. We got Europe, we got DR in the building right now. Like we're talking about even buying places in Cancun. Yes, absolutely. How's Europe? What's going on in Europe, Mila? Is it quiet out there?
Yeah, I love the fact that Yvonne and John just picked up and left.
Yeah.
Especially to a warm weather place. Everyone knows me knows I love the beach. I love the water. Bill hears it all the time. I'm like, please, let's just take off and go.
Yeah, Malika is trying to get me to buy a summer, to get a summer home somewhere south. Dana said one of my friends built some homes and moved the entire family to Belize. Wow. That's what's up.
Interesting.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I honestly could be one of those people who lived in a warm weather place during the winter, even though there really hasn't been a winter. It's kind of weird because I saw the forecast and I think one day later this week it's going to be close to 70 degrees, which is very strange for February, but I don't know. But yeah, I still could see myself just like packing up and moving for like 2 or 3 months and enjoying the warm weather. Our friend Ruthie has a place down in Florida, and she texted me a video the other day from the beach.
Yeah, my boy Rick moved up to Florida.
Oh yeah, he's in Florida too.
Is that something a lot of us are trying to do? Move other places just to get away from New York and things that make, or whatever city. I think about it. I see you love it. I'm gonna read that in a minute. I remember when I was a young man and my mother, I was a kid, and my parents were saying, do something, come with us, do somewhere. And I was like, no, I don't want to leave my friends. I don't know. My mother said, listen, when you get older, your friends are going to be gone. And you're going to have to do what you have to do. Stop worrying about your friends. And the funny thing about that, all my childhood friends don't live in a city anymore. We still have our place in Harlem, of course, but everybody is living somewhere where they can come out and wave at the postman or the milkman. Remember that back in the days? And squirrels was running and on your property, and skunks and foxes and all kind of nonsense. So I think that's a real mature, educated thing to do, especially if you have someone to do it with.
Absolutely. Yes.
Live abroad.
Oh, good. Here she is.
Loving God said, you have great churches in Harlem. We need more churches, promotion, and services available to families in need. Absolutely. And without further ado, I'm going to bring the First Lady of Def Jam. Are you ready, First Lady? I see you peeping. You ready? She's ready, everybody.
God, I feel real out of place, but I'm here.
You're looking great. What's going on, Allie Cat?
You know how they say it's a good thing you don't look like what you feel.
Oh, jeez.
I can contest to that. I can
look
contest
like
to
what
that.
I feel today.
No, you don't. You look beautiful.
You.
You're so beautiful.
It's so good to see you.
How you doing?
Good. How you feeling today?
I'm good. Belated happy Valentine's, my lovebirds.
Yeah, definitely.
Same to you.
Let me ask you a question. I'm glad you brought that up. Yvonne said, "LLO, yeah, we have cows walking through our yard. That's crazy." We were just talking about property, Allie, and buying things, and how a lot of us have moved out of New York just for a better place, of a better cost of living, and just to do better.
Better quality of life.
Absolutely. We were just also saying how I remember when I was young and I was telling my parents was like, oh, come do something with us. And I was like, no, I want to be with my friends and da 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 da. My parents was like, yo, listen, when you get adult, you ain't gonna even have no friends like that. You ain't gonna know where they are. And I was just saying how many of us now live other places, even though we still call New York home or we still have places in New York or stuff like that. But hey, people move far. We got Europe in here. We got people in DR in here right now. Dana, where are you now? I think you're in Atlanta, or where are you? Loving God, what city are you in? Like he says, yeah, we have great churches in Harlem. We need more church promotion of services available to families in need. That's something that's definitely important. The church at one point is a church, but what do they do? So we got Dana, we got Texas. Mila is in Europe. Loving God, where are you? What city are you in? Yvonne is in DR right now. So everybody, thank you for subscribing and chiming in with us. Allie's in Allie. I don't know what city. Are you on the Still Road or you traveling?
No, I'm in Winston.
Okay, you in Winston. You're home. Okay, you're hanging out, relaxing.
And I want to send well, not really relaxing, but I'm plugging along. So you got to keep the hustle is real. I'm in the middle of it. I have to say about moving. We just have, I know about our All Saints crew, the ASC group, and
Yes.
that's a group of about 15 to 16 active every day companions, friends that have gone from first grade through eighth grade together and beyond.
Right.
We started out at All Saints School over there on Madison Avenue. We went from first to eighth grade, and then little pockets. A few of the boys went to Rice. A few of the boys went to the other high school, and a few of the girls went to the same high schools. And over the years, through marriages and parents and kids and everything, we've stayed together.
Yes.
And we formed a little club called the All Saints Crew. Our motto is from crayons to AARP. Yeah. And so when it comes to moving away, we have people in Texas, we have people in Arizona, we have people in Atlanta. One of our boys just moved to Philly. We never thought Howard was moving off 110th Street ever.
No. And what's so funny? Malika teases me, especially since it's Black History Month. And Mila, you're in Greece. So, Malika teases me a lot of times because I get into my Black exploitation movies, and I'm always like, "Look, that's the way Harlem used to look, and that's this and that." Remember this how 125th Street was, and things of that magnitude. That was old Harlem. I mean, it brings. And
it's so funny because when I was coming up, my mother was such a New York City aficionado. She would always be able to tell me where everything was and what it used to look like. And I would just, I'd go, okay. And then when I got older and I was starting to be able to go out on my own and hang out, I always had to call. We had to find a phone booth and find some change and call. And I would tell her, well, I'm at this club and it's on 34th Street and 7th Avenue. And then she'd take a pause and then she'd go, okay, well, that's right next to the so-and-so and so. Like, she knew, my mother knew where I was.
Yeah. Your family will tell you to break it down.
She knew she would break it down to what's there now and what it used to be, and whatever kind of neighborhood it was. And I'd be like, "Ma, good God, okay."
Yeah.
I said, "Were you here when they put the K in York? When they just said New York and just hammered that K up there?" I said, "Were you a pilgrim? What is it? How do you But as we've gotten older, we've become that in our memory of what we knew and what we came up around.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to everybody chiming in. I see you, Sharon. What's up, Mark? It's always good to hang out with you over the weekend. We had a blast. Shout out to everybody that came to the brunch party. Of course, we're doing our thing. And I know Mila, I know you'll definitely be there when you get there. Sharon, I didn't see you this weekend, but that's okay. I know you pop in when you get a chance. Dana said Texas is a mixture of New York with Southern style, 2 hours away from the Caribbean too. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, listen, y'all did a beautiful people party this weekend.
Yeah. It was all beautiful people too.
I know it was.
We're worn out, Alyson. It takes you like 2 days to recover.
Oh, I'm sure. I would imagine 2 weeks. The way that thing be rolling.
Yeah.
There's a carnival in Brazil. Wow, it's very nice. Is it going on now, or when does it come? When does it come? When does it happen? As she tells us that, everybody please subscribe, tell your friends that what we do, this is the third Monday of the month. This is Real Talk with Alyson Williams, my host. And Allie, you know what's so funny? I want to talk about music, and we can talk about anything in our hour span, but where has music gone to you in the point, like, you know, and I think about they just did what was that? The award ceremony.
The Grammys.
The Grammys. Yeah, the Grammys. And they just did a beautiful tribute to Motown, and also hip hop. And from an R&B standpoint, if that's such a title, I know a lot of R&B artists don't want to be labeled like that. You can talk about that too. But did you see the Grammys, and what did you think about the tribute to the history or not?
I did not see the Grammys in its entirety. The Grammys is a thing, and most award shows is something that I try to, I usually try to watch it by myself because I look at them from a different perspective because that's my industry.
Right, absolutely.
Whether it's theater or film or music, whether it's R&B music, hip hop music, country music awards, whatever award show I'm taking it in from a different perspective. So sometimes it's better for me to watch it for a couple of different reasons. I enjoy it from a different perspective. I can't tell you the amount of people that will tell me, "Oh, I don't even watch award shows no more because and they have a way that, you know, they feel about it, and I understand, and in certain ways I agree, but I also have to say whether it's good, bad, or down the middle, I have to watch it because it's my industry. Yeah, I have to know, I have to see what it is they're doing, whether I think it's good or bad. I have to see what it is they're not doing.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, because obviously you want to be at the party, you know what I'm saying? And there's a route that you take to get there. When you can look and see, it's just like someone who's in fashion. You would want to watch Fashion Week because you want to know what the runways are playing, you know? So I say all that to say I didn't get to see the Grammys because I was I was mingling with friends and I was out of town, and it was just too much going on in the room. So I just excused myself.
Oh, absolutely. And let me ask you a question. Do a lot of times artists like yourself with other artists get together and do watch stuff like the Grammys and stuff like that and critique it? Because like you said, I mean, me, and I totally understand what you're saying. Me from an athletic standpoint, when I watch football or basketball, baseball, or martial arts events or whatever, I do critique it. Me feel it being a part of that world to a certain degree. No, to a big degree. So I understand you critiquing it, but how do you feel when you see somebody that you know? Because I mean, how long have you been in the business now, Allie?
162 years.
So there's a lot of people that you know. And
I know a lot of people.
Yeah,
this was my whole point. Now, the people that I was with, they know what I do. They come support me. They're very proud of me. They lift me up. They you know, they champion me and what have you. They come out, like I said, and support. And as I was sitting there, everybody had a you know, an idea of what was going on. I had just been in New York. And one of the nights I was in New York, I went by the Sugar Bar, of course. And while I was there, just before we shut it down for the night, Queen Latifah came in. So, you know, we had to sit and chit chat. We hadn't seen each other since the pandemic. And she's the one that used to come into New York. And if she knew where I was going to be, she'd find me. Sometimes 2 or 3 in the morning, she'd be in the Village and peek her head in the window or down at Arthur's and stuff and come in and hang out with us. So for me to see her sitting there after we had just been there in New York, for me to see LL Cool J sitting across from her, who was my label mate on Def Jam, and to see these people in the mix, you know, I have a certain feeling that if they're there, I'm there. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've sat in that room before. I've been to a Grammys. I've been a presenter on Soul Train Music Awards. I know what that is. My main goal and focus is to get back to that room. Absolutely. And hopefully, you know, grace that stage and receive an award that I've earned by putting out something that has been judged and voted to be excellent. Yes, so absolutely. When you're in the room and y'all have all of these different ghost stories y'all are telling about stuff that y'all don't know about, or you don't realize, for instance, as I watch those folks sitting there, I know that I submitted paperwork this year for a Grammy. We put in paperwork for Najee's album and to get a nomination, and we didn't get it this year, and that's fine. But it's personal now. Do you understand what I mean? Yes. It's a personal thing because this is what I do. So, I look at it, like I said, from a different perspective. I'm never like, oh, I wish it was there, or oh, I'm mad I was there. And I'm not even mad at people who get stuff if I don't really agree with their, that they should have gotten it or not gotten it. I've been in the business too long to even think like that. All I can focus on is be laser on what Alyson is going to leave as a legacy. That's it for me. I've been doing this. I always say I've been in the business all my life, but professionally, I like to take from the age of 16. I'm 61 now. So figured that out. That's how long I've been singing and dancing and acting and traveling on the road. And I've walked in all different genres of music. I've walked, from everything from hip hop to classical. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen a lot, and I've done a lot. I've done a lot more than most ever get to do. So if I don't get to do no more, I can say I'm good. But I know that there is more to do. And when it comes to what I see on the award shows, sometimes I might not like the way that we're representing ourselves now, but it's a new generation. I bet that when Patti LaBelle and them stepped on the stage in their spacesuits, there was somebody going, "Oh my God, what in the hell? What are they doing?" Because, to another generation that preceded them, that was a little out of the way.
Yeah, and what's so funny? A lot of people forget that Patti LaBelle had, what is it, La Marmalade? What they call themselves?
LaBelle. LaBelle. The group was LaBelle. Yeah. The song was Lady Marmalade.
Yeah, yes.
And what was that a song? That was a song about a prostitute. That was a song about a lady of the evening and how she, did her thing. The difference is that I think our music was more musical then in terms of melody and sonically. And I think that Lady Marmalade of that time telling that story is now told in such a graphic way that, like I said, you got to choose your words, and your representation. And the thing is we all have the ability and the right to express ourselves the way it means something to us. But I would figure in my mind that we got a whole English language that we command. So do we have to be profane? Do we have to be a mother this and a be that and a wet ass this and a boop bop bop? But then again, I've reached that place as an adult where those kinds of things, when they hit my ear, they affect me a certain way, just like I'm sure the generation that preceded us and prior to that, when they saw us coming out with a disco ball, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you're right, because the disco era, and I would say you definitely a part of that. I mean, you have different genres of music that you touch. I'm sure the disco era, the house music, the jazz, the R&B, and stuff like that. Let me read some questions real quick and some statements. Rochelle, so thank you, Alyson. You are a classic with so much knowledge, Queen.
Thank you.
Mark says, Bill, this may be a dumb question. Have you and Alyson ever did an event at the Red Parrot back in the day? Alyson, now, I have never promoted Mark. I've sure partied there a lot of times. And shout out to Reggie Wells, who was the house DJ, and then Ace. And Reggie, that I spoke to, I don't know if he's listening tonight, was talking about at one point that he was very instrumental in getting acts in there. I mean, that's where I saw Rick James, and I think he put Bobby Brown in there. So I guess the moral of that story is, have you ever performed at the Red Parrot?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So
I most definitely did. And I want to say that it was with Mickey Howard. And I certainly remember doing a show where Curry was there. Curry Allen.
Yes.
Curry and I have a famous picture from back then. We were beautiful. When I tell you we was beautiful young people. When I looked at that picture, I was like, good God, we were family.
Yeah. Tearing up the spot. I always tell that story. When one night Alyson was performing at the Apollo, and
if you tell that story one more time, I'm just gonna come right to where you live and cut you. Stop it.
Okay, I'm not gonna say it then. Everybody, I'll tell y'all another time. Anyway, Stefania says, "Oh, Allie, Patty's coming to Brooklyn in 3 weeks. She and Will Downey can't wait." Wow.
Oh, that's gonna be wonderful. I did a show with Will at the top of the year, or was it? No, just before Christmas, I think it was, in Atlanta. He and Mike Phillips, and it's an incredible show. You're not gonna have nothing but a good time. And our Pat is always on point too. So
one day we're gonna get Will and Lenny and Allie. We're gonna have them all on the show together because they talk about how great a photographer Will is too. Also, and that's the beautiful thing about a lot of times. I remember when D Nice had seemed like stepped out of music for a minute. He was a photographer too. And a lot of people don't remember. The beautiful thing is a lot of people have multiple talents that they don't have any problems embarking on and doing their thing. What's up, Lucky? He says, I remember when she performed at the Apollo Theater and kicked those shoes off and tore the house down. Uh-oh, there you go.
That was later on. The story Bill is talking about is when Russell was there. Russell was outside.
Yeah.
Like all he needed was a box, and he could have been Malcolm X on the corner preaching. He was like, yes, Alyson Williams can do just as good a show as well. Bill tells it better, but that was back in the day, JJ. And then when when the Apollo became a television show, I had a chance to go on the Apollo, and that was really an awesome. When people ask me what is one of your favorite memories or your biggest performances, and I can go and say I performed at Wembley Arena, for hundreds of thousands of people. Mm-hmm. But my favorite and one of my best performances, and one of the times I'll remember that will always be close to my heart, is that performance at the Apollo when I did Showtime at the Apollo. And yes, we kicked off the shoes, honey, and slid down the wall. And I always say, I think Snoop posted it last year at some point, and it got a lot of hits. It's available on YouTube. And I did 2 performances. I did one with a song called Just My Luck, which at the time was a new single, but I had to do Just Call My Name. The thing is, I had been in Europe for a while, and Just Call My Name was almost on its way out, but we had to do it for the TV. And when he posted it again, a lot of people chimed in, Russell chimed in, and Valerie Simpson said it was a master class.
Right.
That the performance was a master class. So I'll ask all the viewers and listeners to look up Just Call My Name, Alyson Williams at the Apollo, and I hope they enjoy it as much too.
Absolutely. And how many years for Just Call My Name? I know it was like what?
It's 30 since it came out was 1980, 88 into 89. Right, 80 into January of 89. So do that math.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Leona, what's going on? Audrey Rose is in the building. Shout out to everybody chiming on. Princella, I see you in the building. Princetta, excuse me. I chop her name up sometime. Loving God said, ask Alyson who are her positive Black role models from Black struggles for freedom.
Well, my parents are my favorite Black struggling people because I saw them do it.
Right.
But I've had an opportunity to be in some wonderful rooms, like I said, and be a part of some wonderful circles. Obviously, the first thing is going to come to mind is my relationship with Dr. Maya Angelou. And as a mentor, not only just to be in her presence was a master class at all times, but to have her sit down and take the time to speak, speak positivity into my life, tell me of her struggles, tell me of what it was like for her raising a child and being in show business and that transition into the poetess that, and the voice of a nation that she became. I had an opportunity to have a mentorship from Nancy Wilson. And I can remember as many of the good times that we had. She told a story one time of, when they were, historically, they have used African-American artists to try to help rally and make a difference and get the message out to rally, you know what I'm saying, for justice and for change. And when they were going through the civil rights movement days, people would think that when they left the club or left the show, everybody was going back to the hotel to party or out. And a lot of times they would go out, obviously, but they would go and they would meet. And she said a lot of times they meet in her room because nobody would think that would be going on. And it would be her and Harry Belafonte and Sammy Davis and all of those different ones. And they would be meeting because they would be trying to strategize for Dr. King. And they would be, they had been given a certain homework assignment that this is the message we need to get out. This is how we need to get it, and this is how we're going to do it. And you all are going to help, and that's what they were doing. So to go back and then look at pictures, when you look at the pictures that we'll see, especially more around this time of year for Black History Month, and you can see a Nancy Wilson standing there next to King, or you can see a James Baldwin. You can see these people. And so now the story she told me is real to me. because I saw her.
Mhm.
She told me what she did, and then I saw her. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that I've met, and you know, as being a part of the Angelou family, the Johnson family, people like Richard Long, who was an incredible laureate, Black laureate. A lot of people might know who he is, but one of the smartest men on the planet. The man who, what's Lewis' last name? He is the man who developed the defibrillator. You can't go into a store, an airport, a hospital. Every place you go, there's a defibrillator, and a Black man created that. He was a heart surgeon.
Look at that.
So these people came up in that era where it was about the struggle, and they did it. You know, they were on the forefront. They were on the front line for that. So I've had a lot of people that have been instrumental in and even now, you know, I've worked with Reverend Sharpton and his efforts, and people who, you know, they just constantly plugging along.
Yeah,
you know, so
that's a beautiful thing. Also, too, we can't forget. I guess I don't know if I call her your best friend, your big sister, your sister. Period. Valerie Simpson. I know she is very instrumental in your life too. You know,
absolutely, and it's still and continues to be. And she is also an advocate and a you know, one of those people who's a superhero for change. You know what I'm saying? A rock star for change. Whether she does it from behind the scenes, through the music, you know, she's always trying to push forward, you know, to affect change.
You know, yeah, that, and you know, I mean, the history of people of color doesn't start. I always tell people it doesn't start with slavery. It starts before that. For we are the center of attention for that, and it falls down. It's just terrible how things have changed for us to be put back in another light. But you know, especially this being Black History Month, you know, we celebrate it all the time. Just positive people and just beautiful people like Mila, who knows her history and shouts out. She was like, "Wow, Maya Angelou, Nancy Wilson was is a true legend." Absolutely. Dana says, "I just got flagged for playing Just Call My Name on Facebook Live, and last Wednesday, however, I had to give you some flowers. My late father was always playing your song on his Walkman at the radio, on the radio. Great New York childhood memories. Thank you." Dana's father, my brother Silk, he was a legendary New York City promoter that Dana met you through, but still, we all partied in the same circles. And shout out to that. Loving God said, "Thanks, Alyson, because it seems Blacks have erased the good Black styles off their minds." You know what's so funny? Right now, I think, and I'll let Alyson piggyback off this, I always say positivity doesn't sell. Malika and I was with some friends this weekend, and the guy was saying, "Bill, from what you started and what you do with Real Talk, he's surprised that you don't get the support that you do when you do a brunch party or promotional aspect." And I tell him, I said, I get it. It baffles me. People will not go the way I feel. They won't go see, when they see an Alyson Williams name somewhere performing, they won't go see that, but they'll go see Pookie Pook talk some crazy stuff and have some girls twerking or some girls singing some ratchet song or doing things like that. When I look at the female artists and I look at the male artists, there isn't any showmanship. That's why people, I'm sure, like Usher and New Edition still, you know, we bring out New Edition is probably one of the few groups in my eye that has touched maybe 3 generations. My parents knew them, my era, and then even the kids under us still know who New Edition is. What do you think of, like you said, you mentioned about showmanship and performing and stuff like that. I personally, I have a question, but I would love to see one day people like yourself and Stephanie Mills, and how you do a tribute to some artists up on the stage at the Grammys or somewhere and singing melodies of their song. I think you're worthy of that. You're deserving of that. And for you to know, you're like the female version of Kevin Bacon in the music industry to me. You know what I'm saying, is your degrees of separation. You can tell me in a minute.
I'm the Forrest Gump. You remember how he was everywhere? You couldn't understand, well, how did he get to meet Elvis? And why was he at the White House? And why was he over there? What? That's what I feel like, because I've been in the rap game, you know, when hip hop was just rap.
Right, right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? I
Yeah.
came up through the R&B circle. I was in the jazz circle. I've done the house thing. It's I want to and I want to go back before I lose this thought, because thoughts
Yeah.
come out and leave our heads really easy.
Mhm.
The person that was saying that they're baffled that people will come to a party and drink and smoke cigars, but they won't sit down for an hour and watch you do what you do on a Wednesday and the third Monday, or you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
They just,
right.
where you might be able to pick up some information, some knowledge, or learn something that you didn't hear before, know before, or maybe just sit there and beat it. Bill needs some numbers, and
Absolutely.
that's what brings me down to saying, yes, I would love to be on the award shows doing a medley and paying a tribute to a Gladys or this. I'd like to be in that number when they start calling the female singers out. It doesn't happen, but that's just right now, and ain't no day the same for nobody. So
Yeah.
we can change, that can change, but it comes now down to numbers. It comes now down to streams and likes and clicks and subscribers and things like that. So if my presence in social media builds, if your presence in numbers of viewers builds,
Yeah.
then you become more relevant.
Absolutely. Because let me
So,
tell you
and
something.
that's along with putting music out there. That's along with doing all that kind of stuff. And then, knowing that our audience is I'm trying to touch a newer generation, but my audience, who is my age and our age, we have to depend on them to chime in as well. And sometimes they're not all hardwired to the technology like the young people are. Young people are hardwired to this.
Yes, and you know what's so funny? Because I can remember speaking to Alyson at any given time during our tenure of our family ship, and I could be like, "Oh, what you doing? Oh, I was with Maya Angelou, Dr. Maya Angelou, or I was with, of course, Freddie Jackson, or just any name, Oprah, any." I mean, she has spewed off names, and she was like, "Yeah, I just left him, or I was there with him, or I just hung out with him." Quincy, Stevie, I mean, and like to see him still perform at a phenomenal, to see Barry Gordy in the audience and Smokey, how awesome and handsome does he look at this age, and still voice sound and velvet as he wants to be. So anything I'm going to do, you already know that I'll put the pressure on somebody back to make you perform. And I hope that date is still good for you in March.
March 30th. If you're in the Philly, Delaware area, whatever, we're going to be at South in Philly on March 30th, and we'll have more information about that. But you were asking, Bill, also about showmanship. I can't say that I saw Rihanna do the what do you call it? For what Rihanna does, Rihanna did a really good show.
I did too. I thought she did
But
great.
what I'd love to see again at a Super Bowl or anywhere else, I just like to see a concert. Wow. I'd like to see a show where somebody's on stage and they might just take a moment and say, "How's everybody doing?" And everybody say, "Yeah." Like a regular concert. Yeah. I think Beyonce does great things. But between the 50 dancers and the pyrotech and all the other stuff that's going on, all the other stimulation, I'm wondering how I would get her to walk out on the stage like a Nancy Wilson or like a Alyson Williams and just stand flat-footed in a spotlight.
And give them the business, and give them all the business.
Just go ahead and sing it. Just go ahead and sing it.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and do it.
Because you know more than I do. I'm sure you definitely have been in the studio when it was a live band. In comparison to that, I don't know what the band is like anymore. I remember I saw a clip with Barry White saying, in time, the band will not be in the studio. It'll be all computers and synthesizers and things of that magnitude. I mean, that's the genre, and that's the way the music has changed. Stefania says, "Yeah, we're in a time with ratchet cells and hypersexuality." Absolutely, loving God.
But the thing is, it's always been like that. It's always been that. It's just that the envelope has been pushed so hard that now there's no envelope. We don't rip the envelope up because, like I said, if you look back, music is a barometer. Music is always going to tell you what's going on in a nation, what's happening, and so on and so forth. It did it when we were in wartime. It did it in wartime when it was our parents' time, and whatever they were going out to see at the Roseland Ballroom, at the Cotton Club, the music of the era, the music that's out there tells you what's going on. We came up with music. We were lucky enough to have people that could summon us to the dance floor and give us a message. We can
Absolutely.
bop our head and still go, I'll take you there, and
Yeah.
keep on pushing.
Yeah.
And we had songs that, I mean, everything's not going to be a rainbow and a lollipop. But when you hear somebody saying, I got sunshine on a cloudy day, and it's because of my girl, then
Yeah.
you probably say that's my girl, as opposed to that's my bitch. Excuse my
Yeah.
language.
Absolutely.
But that's that,
Absolutely.
what the music is, what communicates us into us and gets in our head. And then that's what we regurgitate.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So what we see, when we see so much hopelessness and we see so much ratchet, and we have it right here at our fingertips to see it, you can pull it up. If you didn't see it on your block, you could pull it up. Then that is what is going to become embedded in the soul, in the minds, and of our young. And then that's what they put out there. There was a time when we looked up and it was like, well, the black exploitation movies were like, oh my goodness, look at what they're, that was that, but that was a part of a reality. They were pimps and prostitutes and drug dealers, and Freddie's Dead and all that. It was there. So we had that. But there was always another side that we still showed that let you know that we can put on suits and dresses or whatever it was, or look up, and when you saw us on a red carpet, you saw something that went, that's my people.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm proud of that. Then again, once again, like I said, I think everything is just kind of lumped on top of each other. So we don't have, well, we have this over here, like I said, that pushes the envelope, and it's entertainment, and it should be, wow, it's going to be that thing that wows or spectacle. But there's got to be another side. You got to show another side too.
Yes. Preach that talk. This is real talk, everybody. That's real talk. Alyson Williams, I'm Bill Forster. Please, if you're watching, subscribe to it. Always ask you to share it. It's out the kindness of your heart. People are talking about good evening, and Christina, preach Alyson. Loving God says people are selling their souls for a look. I sold out award. Exactly. Rochelle said music, and definitely the heart of the soul. Absolutely. I want to ask you a question. And I have a few people in my mind. Tell me some of the artists. Shout out to Tawana Scott in the building. She said, God's great evening. Absolutely. What artists, if you think about whatever genre of music it is, I mean, that come to your mind that you think that we're ahead of your time? Like, when we look at people today, or I mean, from the past, like a Gil Scott Heron, Jimi Hendrix was a phenomenal person. Like Marvin Gaye, his music still is prevalent to this day. Curtis Mayfield is another person to me that he was like, wow, the stuff that he says and things that he does. What artists in your mind, male, female, any genre of music that comes out to your mind that were ahead of their time, and their music is still prevalent to this day? Like a Public Enemy. Today, the stuff what Public Enemy says from even a rap aspect is still phenomenal. So
well, like I said, it comes from your consciousness. So, you're giving great opportunities to stand on a platform. You have to choose what it is that you want to say and what you want to represent. And like I said, the music is the barometer. You want to know what's going on? Listen to the music. And then you look at our nation and go, okay, yeah, I get it. The music is in flux, and we're in flux, whether it's politically, whether it's economically. We've got we have wars going on. We've got police brutality. You got to show both sides of it. Every cop is not a killer, but we see so much concentration of the bad.
Yes.
We see so much concentration of, I got to have a certain bag, a certain shoe, a certain grill, a certain this. I got to be, we see so much concentration.
Right.
And a lot of times it's to sell newspapers and magazines, or to, have ratings and stuff like that. So people like you said, Marvin Gaye, we still asking what's going on. Yeah. You go through that song from top to bottom, and we still asking the same questions, the exact same question.
Right. That's why I'm saying, like, somebody like
you
that.
You listen to Nina Simone, Mississippi Goddamn.
Ooh.
What was she talking about? We still talking about it. Race relations, and the unfairness of how we are treated. As far as we've come, we have so much further to go. Stevie Wonder. When you have a couple of days, go through that catalog and see what he's talking about. These people were ahead of their time, and they made music, like I said, that not only it was consciousness and it gave you a message, but it summoned you to the dance floor. You still got your groove on, but you know what I'm saying? It planted something in you.
Yeah, all I
It's
do
kind
is
of
think
something
about
else.
you. I mean, I think about music like all I do is think about you. Like you said, let me tell you, I'll tell anybody out there, this is real talk. Alyson knows we used to talk relationship stuff back in 2008. But I tell everybody, if you on a date and by the end of the night and you put just call my name, if you ain't get a kiss or a hug or can I see you later or tomorrow, then she ain't the one or you ain't the one, guys.
That was, listen, I get guys come to me all the time at my shows, men, and they say, that was on my mixtape. And I knew if it was on my mixtape, I was going to get lucky.
In the playlist.
They
You see
tell me, and look, and this is who I married. And they pull their wife right on in. And it's
yeah,
like
right
that.
here.
And the thing is,
Just
I
call my
guess
name.
because, right,
Right
I guess because, you know what, my eyes must be going blind because all this time I did not see her sitting there.
You didn't say
She was over there
you took your
somewhere.
glasses off. You took your
Oh
glasses
my
off.
God.
That's
It's
right,
a
yo,
good thing she
listen.
moved.
She
I did
moved.
not see her. I thought there was a
Yo,
pain in
Allie,
that foot.
I'm keeping them
Hi,
on. I can't read
baby.
these comments.
Oh my God. When she moved, I felt like that day when you saw my friend come in and y'all was like, somebody's in the house with her.
I was like, I said, I can't get to you. I was like, get out. Run. What's going on behind you and shit? You know what I'm saying?
Oh gosh. Bill and Tia are my protectors no matter where I am. If they could put on a cape and a mask and into the air, they would.
I said,
But
yeah, I was like, yo, I watch, I like horror movies, so I saw somebody moving behind you. I was like, oh shit, this is real life. Run. I can't get to you, Allie. Calling my name ain't gonna help you now. I get the hell out. You know what I'm saying?
But back to what you were saying. Yeah, there's so many artists that I could name that like I said, they put they know that their calling and their purpose is to try to get a message through that's going to resonate. And those artists that have done it, and I think there's some now that are on that track. The thing is that we can't hear them as much as we can hear. I don't know what it's like to be 18, 17, whatever that feels like now. And you couldn't even pay me to go back and find it out because I think I'd be frightened. But because this world is rough, it's tough. So to be that it's got to be difficult. And so I shout out to all the young people that are trying to, find their way and do their best to be the best. But if you were dating me and you had a record that went see, I can't even really hear it. Sonically, we can't even hear that. The music is being produced in a way that doesn't even resonate in our ears. So when I listen to something, I might, if I'm going somewhere else and the music is playing, I'm going, let me try to see if I can understand what they're saying. Maybe I can have a little bit more, tolerance. But most of the time it doesn't happen because then by the minute I'm listening and hear it real good, okay, so y'all needed a track to cuss on. Y'all could just cuss without a track. And the things that you're speaking into, let me know. Listen, the Whispers told me everything I ever wanted to hear as a woman, how I want to be made love to, but the way they said it felt respectful.
Yes.
But these days, what the guys seem like they're saying to the girls, it just seems like, listen, all I really want to do is get you in this corner, and when I'm done, I'm done.
Like I tell people,
I'm not looking for a relationship, but I really would like to see what's up between your legs. That's really what. I want to see what that mouth can do. That's what they're saying. And the girls, the girls are coming up feeling like, well, first of all, they're as graphic and profane as the men. So there's nobody to explain to them that you might be big, bad, and bold, and you fine, and you got the kit, you got the lashes, the nails, the baby hair, and the whole bit. But every man, no matter how rough they are, how tough they are, I don't care whether they're corporate, I don't care whether they're collegiate and Ivy League, every man wants a lady. Every man wants a lady. And that's the difference between being a woman, I'm a grown-ass woman, and being a lady. And so if you no matter, but they not, it ain't gonna be a deal breaker if you cuss like a sailor, because they still trying to get what they're trying to get.
Absolutely.
They're still trying to get up on you. So, and the women and there's no women to tell the girls you still got to be a lady. You gotta set yourself a certain way.
Do the girls want to listen? Do the girls even want to listen?
I don't know. Well, you have to understand the ones that they're looking up to that seem to have the whole situation. That's not what they're promoting. They're saying I got a wop.
Right.
So if the people you looking up to aren't telling you, how to base yourself, then we certainly don't listen to our parents. None of us listen to our parents. We listen to our godparents, our aunts, and other people's parents. But that's just how it's always been from the beginning of time. Because when you're young, you think your parents don't know anything. You don't know what it's like to be me. You're in my business. You're just trying to run my life. And you live like that for a certain amount of years until you get into the real world. By the time you get into the real world, what have you learned? You learned to roll your neck and call the B word. That's what you got. But like I said, the guys are gonna the guys are gonna be men. But I don't care. My mother used to say, the whiner on the corner, he want a woman that's a lady.
Listen.
He want the whiner, the bum on the street still wants a woman that's a lady, and will respect that when he sees it.
Absolutely. Listen, I haven't seen one man, especially any man I know, and any man that's listening now, please correct me if I'm wrong. When you going out, you was like, oh, I'm looking for somebody to marry. I want me a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want me a tramp.
Never heard that. Never. Yeah.
And like Tawana said,
the thing is that it's so important for the women because, well, I mean, outside of science and technology and medicine, we procreate. We bring the men, fertilize the seed, but we birth and raise babies.
Absolutely.
We birth and raise. So if we don't have it in us, we're done.
Yeah.
We're the nurturers, we're the teachers that, what I'm saying? I mean, how we were designed, how God put us here for. Look at what women do. Look at how we do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, if we can't pass it down to the younger girls that are coming up.
Yeah. And that's in all kind of music, but shout out to all the positive sisters in the world. You're the most educated women in the world right now, women of color. Shout out to you. Tawana says, you can be a lady in the street, but a freak in the bed. There you go, sis.
Okay, so you got to rhyme it though. You said a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. You got to put street and sheets together.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not an MC. I'm a promoter, so I'll put you in the. I'll put the people there. Yeah, I'll let somebody else grab the mic. I'll just tell you who's coming to the stage. Loving God said, people of color are losing because they left God for money, alcohol, and a wink and sinning. Yeah. Rochelle said, say it again. A lady. Stefania said, nah, Allie. Some men want hoes. I don't know. She said, LOL. I guess they do certain places, but I don't.
And they're out there, and that's fine.
Yeah,
you can go get them. They're out there. But what I'm saying is that though nobody wants their daughter to be that, although that's that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because Allie, you're right. Hey, Stefania, you're right. Ain't nobody grew up and said, hi, Stephanie, I want you to be a hoe when you get older, because
right.
You
can drop out of school because I'm gonna teach you to get it another way. Yeah.
No, ain't nobody talking that. Mark said, facts. Tawana said, hey, a lady, boom, that's the key word. Sharon said, there's no love in the music. Music now, absolutely.
And that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, Bill. That when it was love in the music, it taught us how to love. Listen. You know what I'm saying? The music gets in your brain, and you say, "Oh man, that's what I've been trying to say, but I couldn't say it like that." But that's what I mean. And then you would put that on a tape, and you give it to somebody that you really like, because sometimes you couldn't speak it for yourself, but you wanted her to know what you was feeling. You know what I'm saying? The music taught us how to socialize and be with one another. You know what I'm saying? So that when we found each other in the club or at the dance or wherever we were, we knew how to socialize, and the men knew how to approach the women, and the women knew how to react.
Right.
Because our music was telling us that.
And fun facts for anybody, my favorite group in the world, if you don't know, it's a fun fact. It might be a trivia one day. The Temptations, they tell you, let me tell you something. They'll tell you if they losing you. They'll tell you what they do if it make it rain. They'll talk about all if I could get next to you, anything. The Temptation, they'll tell you, and they also tell you, about how to fight the power too. The Temptations was a bad group. Marvin would tell you, he'll love you too.
They told stories. They told stories about hard situations. Papa was a Rolling Stone. He left them. Yeah. And all he left them was by themselves and with debt. That's it. And that was a reality to some people.
Yeah. Dana says, no lies told here. And I was born in the 70s, a vibe to old school R&B all day. 80s and 90s music was it. And that's what it is. I mean, let me tell you something. If you catch me listening to something new, trust me, it must be really popular, because everything in my playlist, I was just touch and go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a victim just coming on. Mark said there's a message in the music back then. It was a different type of message now. Sad. Roscoe, what's up, brother? Everybody, my man Roscoe's in the building. He has a documentary. Roscoe, put it in. They doing is it on A&E about undercovers, something that Roscoe and I did, and it speaks about his time as an undercover, him and another friend of mine, my man Lucky, that I went to high school with. And it's very intriguing and in-depth on what it's like to be an undercover in the world, in law enforcement. So Roscoe, put the name of that thing in there for me. Just Call My Name. I love Alyson Williams, my favorite song. Absolutely. Stefania says, do you guys think that things will go back to a more loving, traditional stance? I can't see it, but anything is possible. What do you think, Allie?
As a musician, as an artist, I don't want to recreate the wheel. That would be like saying, are we going to go back to the drifters and start doing doo-wop? For people who like doo-wop, you know, it's out there, and folks can find it. I don't know if there's going to be, a resurgence of it, but that was a time, and there was love in that music, and standards and tradition. I don't know if we'll go back. I don't know if we need to recreate the wheel, but we need to find a new way. Right. As we're finding things to do. Like I said, we pushed the envelope to the point where we ripped it. And now the envelope holds something. This is an envelope. An envelope holds something inside of it. If I rip this envelope, this paper can't stay in it.
No.
So now the cat's out the bag and everything is everything. We have pushed the envelope to the point where the envelope is no longer usable. So that's why we have all of this crazy coming at us, and it seems like there's no end to it. So I don't know if we can go back to what we once knew, but I think that it's up to all of us to make an effort to try to do it in whatever small way we can, even if it's in our own house and the way that we carry ourselves when we walk out our door.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the best that we can do, because I think it's more people that are on the side of finding that. I think even with the young people, I think that they're clearer on what the deal is, and they're just going, well, hell, I don't know how I'm just trying to survive every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember, because I talked to them before I was driving down here. I used to be in an Uber, and I'd be in an Uber every day wherever I was going, and I'd get young drivers, and they'd be, listening to music, and I'd be like, so who was that? Because I want to know. I just want to know who it was, and so I said, so. That is that. She said, no, that's not my playlist. That's my da-da-da-da. And then the young lady said, to tell you the truth, miss, I really don't even listen to new school music like that. This just happened to be so when they get to opening up and talking, you can tell that for them, like New Edition is old school to them, but they'd rather listen to that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then, to whatever it is that's out here, being presented on commercial radio or whatever, on the playlist, on the stream or whatever, because they really do. And then when they say something, and my mother listened to so and so and so and so and so, that goes back to our music. You know what I'm saying? That's she'll talk. I heard the young lady speaking into that. I had another young man speak into that, and it was just like, I don't know if we can go back to our traditions, but like I said, it's up to us to take a stance and continue to keep that narrative open. Just like we can't ever let, they say, people don't ever let it go away. The stories of our struggle through slavery and our struggles in general as Black people, just like the Jewish people, they never let us forget that there was a Holocaust, and they shouldn't.
No,
because it happened and it was an atrocity. It was horrible. People can't put their hands on people.
No.
People can't own people. People can't kill people.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It's not, what I'm saying? It's not how it goes. So if we allow the music to live, if we support the music, if we continue to tell the stories, if we continue to play the music, you know what I'm saying? Then, we'll have that thing that can wash over us and maybe wash over another person too.
Yeah.
And we can find some love. We have to find love and find new ways to make love and be loving. And if we can have that, then we can put it in the music. But we got to. It starts with just how we are as humans.
Absolutely.
The humanity.
This is Real Talk. That's Alyson Williams. I'm Bill Forster. Please subscribe to it if you like it. Share it. Send some hearts for Alyson because she dropped some science tonight.
Y'all got me preaching.
That's it. Shout out to Irving, my man Irving Panton. You're a Def Jam individual. He was the photographer at Def Jam. We're going to talk about Def Jam too, because the hip hop in a minute, because it was great to see Melly and all the people on the stage, the old school.
I can't wait to go back and look at it. I know a lot of them, were there. I was talking to Curtis Blow yesterday, and I was like, I didn't see the Grammys, but I don't know if you were there. And he told me he wasn't. But I said, well, then they got it wrong. But at least they did something, and on that major stage. The good thing is that we are celebrating the 50th year anniversary of hip hop, and that means that that's going to go on all year long. We're going to celebrate the whole year of 2023 as the 50th year anniversary. There's a lot of truths and a lot of facts out there that people will discover and learn. I feel a part of the hip hop celebration, even though I'm a jazz and R&B singer, because I got my start singing the hooks of all the records that start, so many of the records that started when we just had rap.
Can you tell the listeners out here so they can go and hear Alyson's voice and be like, that was you?
Well, things like AJ Scratch, AJ, and Fat Boys.
There you go.
And of course, the follow-up, Fat Boys are back. If I rule the world, I love all the girls. Yeah. When Lauryn Hill was just 10 years old, I was ruling the world. And of course, everybody knows they're playing basketball.
There you go.
We love that basketball. And I'm proud to be a part of those records.
Right.
That was when it was rap. And the only thing we had Sugar Hill Gang, the first words were to the hip hop, a hippie to the hippie to hip hop. That's where hip hop was. Yeah. Right on that record. We weren't calling it hip hop then. It was rap. And yes, it was about our social struggles and the things that we saw, the message. That was a great song about the worst ish ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a great song. But look how they were able to present it. Do you know what I'm saying? They were able to present a snapshot of one particular place that exists all around the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
The ghetto and what it's like to live in it. But they were able to put it in a way that everybody could consume it and process it.
Yeah. Let me read some comments.
That was the grand achievement of that song.
That's what I'm talking about, because let me tell you something. And singing those hooks, a lot of times, where's that song? And who knew? It was you. That's what I'm saying. That was you. Exactly.
I was co-writing and mostly arranging, and I was also contracting the sessions, because the rap people, the guys were coming in. They brought a girl from around the way girl. They brought their girlfriend. They brought the girl who they said, "Yo, you gonna come in the studio? You gonna sing this hook, and I'm gonna make you a star." They brought that girl, but she couldn't sing. No. And so when they got to the studio, the first thing they do is order some food, then smoke a joint, and then that wouldn't really get done.
Yeah.
So when I started doing it, I was hiring my dear sister friend Audrey Wheeler, Audrey Wheeler Downing, wife of Will Downing, and so we had a company called AW Square. At least that's what I was running, and it was Alyson Williams and Audrey Wheeler, and then we had Cindy Mizell, we had Lisa Fisher, we had Jocelyn Brown, we had oh my God, just all my singer friends. Right, I would just call who was the one that made Over Like a Fat Rat?
Was it Fonda
Ray? I called Fonda. I called all the good singers and have them on these rap records. And we would go in, we listen to the track, we look at the lyrics, and in an hour we were gone. And they were like, "You mean we don't have to lose money?" So I started getting the calls all the time, to the point where if Audrey and I weren't available, or she was out of town or whatever, they'd be like, "All right, when you getting back, we'll wait."
Right.
And we just set a whole new tone, a whole new precedence for what they were going into the studio and what they were able to accomplish, because we were singers and we came in and hit it. And a lot of people don't know that story, but yeah, I was doing all the session work.
professionals. Shout out to everybody chiming in. Yeah, Irving Fonda. Yeah, Fonda Ray. I hope she's doing fine. The last thing I spoke to her, she was living in Jersey, I think, right, Allie? I don't know if she's still in Jersey.
I'm not sure if Fonda's in Jersey or not, but I think I talked to her briefly or talked to her people last year.
I haven't seen her since a WBLS stuff. So it's just been 100 years. I just remember what I think she told me. And Tawana Scott said, hold on, let me see. She said, one of my favorite artists, Phyllis Hyman. Irving said, hey, Bill, unfortunately, Fonda is not performing anymore. Right. Things happen. She got a classic song. My man, Willie Cooper, he said, Willie Warren, he said, it came from the have-nots, the things that came from us. Tanya Gardner, Heartbeat. Willie, I don't know if you remember. This is a disclaimer. I don't know if she even tells us people, but Evelyn Champagne King lived in the building. Shout out to Evelyn Champagne King from Riverside. I know she claims Jersey, but she was in Harlem for a minute with us. Let's see. Tawana says, your new music with Reggie Hines is so amazing, Alyson. Tawana says.
Thank you. Everybody, we have a new single with saxophonist Reggie Hines. I think Reggie's originally from Brooklyn. At least I met him when he lived in New York. Now he resides in Atlanta, and he's got a new project. And the song we have is called "Might As Well Fall in Love," and it's a smooth jazz saxophone kind of thing. And he had me come in and do a scat vocal. So I'm working on wrapping another vocal around it, some verses around it. But you'll hear it's innovative what he wanted, and of course I did the backgrounds and the choruses and what have you. But it was fun to do. It was fun.
Yeah, Allie, what?
Y'all can find it. Y'all can stream it and download it and whatever it is that people do to get music these days. You can find it.
Allie, what was the album that you had out that I loved? Wow, you did a duet with Tony Terry on it and some songs.
Oh, that was called "It's About Time." That came out in about 2005 or 6.
Yes.
I was on the Three Keys label, which was the label of jazz keyboardist Marcus Johnson out of DC, and we had some really nice. Tony and I did a couple of nice duets on there. Yeah.
I think that album. I don't know how people like re-release songs or something or albums. I think that right now would just jump for the ears.
Listen, you know what? I think about that every day, going into the studio and kind of just zhuzhing up some of the tracks because that album never really did get promoted or put out the way, it could have. It was put out, but it wasn't marketed and the way it could have been, which meant that there just wasn't enough money put behind it. But we had some really good songs and the kind of R&B that we know to be R&B. And like I said, R&B, the face of R&B has just changed, and I mean that figuratively and literally. And so what we came up on as R&B, obviously, like I said, it goes back. What our parents had as R&B was Motown.
Yeah,
and so on and so forth. Then we came into other things, and we came into New Jack Swing, and we came into other faces of R&B. The face of R&B is constantly changing and evolving. What I see now, I don't recognize.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Like Willie said.
But if we can put out It's About Time again, and you can find it. I think you maybe on eBay or Amazon, you can find It's About Time. It was a really wonderful, I call it the best demo I ever did because it's a fabulous collection of about 14 songs that nobody knows a lot about, but it's a good. If I had my druthers and some dollars, I would go in the studio and revamp all those songs and release them.
Yeah, but please, if you can, please look for this. It's About Time. I love the album cover. I love the songs. It was just so many songs on there
that's a Will Downing album cover.
Yeah. Yep. Listen.
That's a Will Downing photo shoot.
So somebody please do your homework out there and find It's About Time. Stefania, I know you're good at researching too.
Hey, listen, go out. This is the homework assignment I want. I'm looking for investors. Go out there and find me an investor, so we can stop playing and get some work done. Mostly everything I come up against, Bill, in terms of going forward and kind of keeping my brand revamped is the point of it is to be to have a platform where I'll be able to reach back and do I do it on the level that I do it now, but imagine if if I were a Lizzo, or if I were a Cardi or a Megan. You understand what I'm saying? I'd be able to do so much more, and I'd be able to, especially within the arts and beyond, and education and beyond. But the thing is that it costs money. It really costs money. And sometimes, you can't really throw a couple of dollars here and a couple of dollars. You got to go ahead and bam, throw the the mother load on it to get the train moving. You know what I mean? And so that it has speed, and so that it has traction, as opposed to what we did a little less. So that's that. When you tell them go out and find the CD, I want them to find the CD. But if you don't know anybody.
Well, we're going to work on it. I'm still playing the lotto, sis. I'm still playing it.
Listen, I had a scratch off of $50 the other day. I like to lost my mind. I thought I was going on my lottery dream home. You don't always get $50 on a scratch off. I thought I'd like to die. I haven't even cashed it in. I just got it looking at it. I can't wait to go cash it in.
Yeah. Yo, that's hilarious.
Bill, you know what I'm saying? The thing is, in my mind, if I, like to hit a lotto or whatever the case may be, that means I can come in and say, hey, look, let's take real talk to the next level.
Absolutely.
Let's get this, on a network or on a stream or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of things I dream of doing.
That's what we're talking about. Shout out to everybody chiming in. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Porter, with my co-host, Alyson Williams. It's Real Talk with Alyson Williams. Irving said, I think that the album we just talked about is on YouTube. Hopefully we can find out. What's up, Rich? My man Rich is here with me every Wednesday. He says, I see you guys building 3 in the house. Absolutely. Willie Walker, not my uncle, Willie Cooper. He said, absolutely, Bill. Evelyn lived in apartment 6B. Exactly. Shout out to Evelyn Champagne King and her brother Donald. I don't remember the rest of them. But Willie said it came from the have-nots of things that came from us. Tanya Gardner, Heartbeat. Absolutely. Let me read some more comments that are coming in. Lucky said, we love your voice, Alyson. Let's see. Loving Tawana. Yeah. Tawana said, yes, Reggie is from Brooklyn. Wow, that's good to know. Oh, Loving God said, wow, he didn't know. He said, that's good to know about you singing the hooks on a lot of these songs. Irving, yeah, we're going to talk. Shout out to, holla at me, boy. Gaylord, what's up, family? He said, we need new artists to add meaningful music to what already exists. Yes. Irving said, my Rush production sister. That's what's up. No, Naomi said, wow, did not know Alyson Williams sang all those hooks. Yeah, she did. Roscoe, he said, didn't know that either. Your genius on those classics. Yep. So everybody go listen to them songs and say, that's Allie. I know her. You know what I'm saying?
Bill, the funny thing is, there's more than that. I mean, when I always think of those immediately in my head, but Love Bug Starsky, You Gotta Believe.
Yeah.
I'm Not Afraid with Big Daddy Kane. I did some work on Houdini, because remember, I was in there at Def Jam, so they utilized me on a lot of the Def Jam stuff too. When they began to pump out this stuff, but prior to Def Jam even being in existence, those records happened. I want to say this too. When I was thinking about, we were talking about how our young people present themselves and are represented by the people who are at the forefront, especially in the industry. I have to give a shout out though to a lot of other people, and maybe this will be key and intricate to us getting back to what feels like a more loving kindness in everything that we do, our music, our humanity towards one another. When this year came in, I looked around and everybody in my crew had something to do. When I say my crew, when we came up in New York, we were doing our auditions and our gigs, and maybe somebody would be on Broadway, another person might have a show, blah 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 blah, and it was the Cheryl Lee Rouse and the Valerie Pettifords and the Debbie Morgans and the Vanessa Bell Callaways, and all of these girls were in my crew. We all did what we did together. We performed at Sweetwater's. We did this. We did. We were in variety shows. We did what we were doing to do what we do, and now these women are all winning. Everybody's got some kind of show that's on a streamer or a Hulu or a Peacock or whatever the case may be. We see what Cheryl's doing. So for me, it is a motivation to work even harder, because it's my time too.
Absolutely.
And I'm thankful that when I mention those names, you can look at all of those names and say, oh, they're representative of what we like to feel proud of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know, Valerie's got the family business, and Debbie Morgan's got any number of things. I've seen her on. Vanessa Bell Calloway is over there on Black Hamptons, I think it's called Black Hamptons.
Right.
Cheryl Lee Ralph is doing the most. With the Abbott Elementary and everything else. So you know, there are representation on the female and male side. You know, us doing what we got to do and making it happen. So,
and I know you got to be proud of her, Cheryl Lee Ralph. That's your girl. I know, doing her thing right now. You know,
absolutely.
You know, because she has a voice too, and then she's an actress. She's doing a lot of things. Let me just read some comments, and everybody, this is Real Talk. Subscribe, share it. Roscoe, you got to put the link in for me, baby. I got a lot of typing and talking to people, so put your link in for the trailer so people can see it. It'll pop it right up. Roscoe also said music has no soul or meaning. It become morbid and disrespectful to the point that is normal. Exactly. Tawana said it starts at the home. Train a child in the way they should go. Absolutely. I heard D.L. Hoodley say the other day or one day, he said, if you raise your child right, you can spoil your grandkids. If your child is not raised right, then you'll have to raise your grandkids. That was something I was like, wow. Stefania says, don't know if you guys discussed this, but did you see Sam Smith's satanic performance at the Grammys? Yeah, I wasn't impressed with it. You know, everybody right now is trying to pass their own agenda and stuff like that. What happened to just being an artist coming out? And I'm talking for me. I'm not talking for Alice. I don't care. This is what I feel. Just sing. You know what I'm saying? Your sexual preference and what you believe, I get it. You know, every time I go on stage, I don't have to wear a dashiki. You know what I'm saying? Or put a kufi hat on. It is what it is. Or I don't have to wear a karate gi or a police uniform. It's just be you, man. Your voice puts you there, or whatever it is that you have done that has established you. Then you can follow back up. But now I think expression has superseded the art. And Stefania, that's a great point that you just made. I was so busy looking at what he was wearing and what he was doing that I didn't even pay attention to the damn song. So I don't even know what the hell the song is saying and what he did. I just saw the artist, you know. Ali, as I get ready to scroll. Oh, Willie, Ali, I want your thoughts on that, but let me just read some more comments. So hold that. Willie said, for the men, that's where we got our rap from. Barry White, the Temps, the Isley Brothers, and the list goes on. Absolutely. I want to get so many in here. I see so many comments. Tawana says, each one teach one. I continue to spread the love. Absolutely, man. Roscoe said, I think I read this. He said, the Undercover Court on Tape premieres Thursday, March 2nd at 10 p.m. on A&E. Thank you, brother. That's my guy. Let's see. Let me get back down to the bottom, because I missed a lot. It won't let me. It don't let me add. Well, just type in the name, Roscoe. Just type in the name. Bro, you see where I'm at right now. Sandra Crew is in the building. Shout out to Miss Red Alert. That's my sister, Sandra Crew, is in the building. Tell Uncle Red, as they affectionately call him, a historian, my brother. For those that don't know, if you can look into the archives of Real Talk Chronicles, Red had gave me an exclusive, and it was just a phenomenal show. I appreciate him. That's my brother.
Shout out to Red Alert.
And shout out to his lovely wife. That's my sister. She knows that.
Baby.
Hope to see you soon, sis. Let's see what else. We got people in the building. They talking to us, Allie. Let me see. I see you, Barry Cherry. Darren Joseph is in the building. Sylvia was in the building. Sylvia said, she said, that's what's up. It's your time and make it happen. Oh, Dana asked a question. Not Dana, I'm sorry. Stefania asked a question. She said, Allie, would you do a reality TV show?
It's according to what the premise was.
Oh, yeah.
It's according to what the premise was. If we get ready to have a bunch of fights and snatch off wigs and call the B word, probably not going to be there.
Right. And then also Richard Williams said, Alyson Williams, Polo Grounds, Building 3 in the house. There you go. Build it three, baby.
2949.
There you go. Shout out. Listen, it's a beautiful thing when we all know where we come from and don't forget it. I got to shout out my cousin Cynthia Moats. She's in the building. She's watching. She just lost her husband, my cousin too, Eldon Moats. Rest in peace. We would have been there if we would have known when it was. Cynthia, I love you. I know what it's like. That's what happened to her husband. He had a cardiac arrest and passed away not too long ago. And they were together, I think, 42 years or 44 years. And, beautiful 4 kids. I think, 4 kids, 1 grandchild. And he got to see that. So please, Dr. Marilyn Corder, we just had a segment. You can go back and look at that on YouTube. And we talked a lot about diabetes, which I'm a diabetic. Alyson is a diabetic. She can tell her story. She went into a diabetic coma, right, Alyson? And
I sure did.
So yes, she is fortunate to have 9 lives, and you have to watch that. And right now, Dr. Marilyn Corder had just stated to us, cardiac arrest is the #1 killer of people right now with diabetes. It's not high blood pressure and all that, but everything is a trickle-down effect. So please go back and look at that segment. I will put it up on my Facebook page for those, but it's in the Real Talk Chronicles files. That's why you got to chime on what Dr. Corder is. And just to run down, the first Mondays of the month is Assemblyman Al Taylor. The second Mondays of the month is Dr. Marilyn Corder. The third Mondays of the month is Miss Alyson Williams, who we have here right now. And the fourth Mondays of the month is just me and Malika. We're going to chop it up with you all. We might have some special stuff. Roscoe, I'll have to get you on so we could talk about that premiere and that undercover stuff. You my guy, you've always supported Real Talk Chronicles, so I have no problems talking about that with you. I do support those who support me. Just real talk. So if you don't see anybody on here and you wondering why so-and-so ain't on here, because he ain't repping B Forster, baby. So I got Sylvia's in the building. She said something about getting older is real talk. Absolutely. And I think Sylvia said something about she was at a concert. I think you did. Maybe Sylvia, you might have to put that back on and let me know. Let's see. Alyson, she says, Alyson, I was with you in the house concert or something like that. Shout out to everybody chiming in. Listen, everybody, that's Alyson Williams. Alyson, is anything else you want to enlighten these people with? We got about 6 minutes. We can talk about whatever you want to. It's just been great.
We got the same amount of time as Dougie Fresh. Let me see.
6 minutes, Dougie Fresh. Shout out. Oh, listen, just shout out to 50 years of hip hop. Wonder will they do? They couldn't even do anything about that for jazz or R&B, right? Because jazz and bebop and all that stuff has been around for so long, Alyson. Like, that is music, right?
That's what led to the creation of hip hop.
Yeah. Sylvia said she was you in concert in her house.
Oh. Did she get a standing ovation? She should get a standing ovation.
That's it. Shout out to my 640. What's up, Kendra Moats, my cousin?
Hey, listen, shout out to the hiphopalliance.org. Go check out hiphopalliance.org. KRS-One, Curtis Blow, and a lot of good people from the world of hip hop are doing great things. And they are putting together an R&B division for people like me who have been ensconced in the hip hop world, so that we can spread love and good tidings in terms of, rap started out as a certain thing, and it has become something totally different. And the pioneers are concerned too, just so y'all understand. The pioneers are concerned about it. So, they're trying to do things so that they can keep a good what's the word I'm looking for? Reputation. So, so it's not always such a negative connotation, but a good, keep their reputation intact, because they built something solid that created not only a change in the music and a change in the game, but a whole, it created a whole world. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It changed. It really, did trust me, it did something bigger than what they ever thought it could. So hiphopalliance.org. Y'all know in New York, they have a hip hop museum that I don't know if it's up and running now, but I know that they got the building and I think they're putting it together now and what have you. So that's
shout
enough.
Shout out to Grandmaster Kaz and the Cold Crush Brothers. They were in the building at the Row House this weekend. It was nice to see them. I told him I was very proud of him to see, because there was one time when people were talking about a lot of the artists still don't get the bag, and it's good to see what LL Cool J has done with Rock the Bells and giving artists like him, pioneers like
I said, they not only changed the music, they changed the culture, and now they're doing things on such high level. And it's a shame when just a few, pull down that frequency.
Right.
They worked hard to get there.
It's so, people, and let's just keep it 100. You don't have to get the bag, but it's good to get a bag. And when we talking about that, just have a cost of living to live. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always try to say, Sandra said, yes, I'm seeing it is going to be a beautiful, so proud to see the next generation with the able to build out of it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sandra, her son, my little nephew, Cool G Mims is also an artist, a rap artist. I don't know, Sandra, you could tell us where his music is at, but I mean, he's doing his thing. Like I said, she's the wife of Red Alert, but she is who she is. She's her own powerful Black woman in her own right, my sister. So it's good to see her. Shout out to all of you chiming in from Europe, Texas, DR. Listen, real talk. Listen, with your help, listen, we're gonna keep moving and pushing. I told you this is the most rejoiceful thing, and this is a tribute to my mother. Alyson was there in 2008. So look, we're still here now. Real Crock is still prevalent. We're still making a change. We can always talk about the he's and the she's and the whys and the how comes and why she don't love me and why he don't like me. But right now, let's talk about the things that are, historical. You got a legendary artist in the building that stays with me, and I'm staying with her. This is what you call loyalty right here, right? This is real talk. This is loyalty right here. Like you said, we got Dr. Marilyn Corder. Listen, you got a lot of health issues. We at ages now, we need to talk about health issues and not where the shoes at. And we not where I can get a sale on a damn bag. Let's talk about some health issues. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. Oh, that's right. G Mims, don't forget the $sign and that our son. He's on YouTube. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. Ernie said that's because of you, my brother. Always keeping 100. Appreciate you, Ern. Sylvia said old school is the best school. Absolutely. Oh, she also said, Sylvia, my building mate, my neighbor, she said she did get a standing ovation in the house, Alyson, too, when she was performing. She said they thought it was just for a time, 50 years. It's not going away. I don't always understand what they're saying. I got to get my grandkids to tell me the words, but I like some of it. Absolutely. I mean, certain music and tracks, can be a little catchy. I may catch it. Like I said, I don't know the artist names anymore. I try not to. They all look the same with the twists or the locks or whatever they call it, and the pants hanging down and the gold chains on the neck, and the tattoos on the face. So I really don't know who the hell is who. But the bottom line is, if I catch it and, hey, it is what it is. I still like the people like Alyson who I can say, I know her or I see her and I love her music and I can sing along. Because let me tell you something. Malika, I'm just call your name in a few and shit. Now they stop. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, I agree with you. When I look at the list of names, I was on the plane the other day and I was listening to the music on the playlist, and I said, let me go look and see what the new school playlist is. Let me just go see what they talk about. And I was like, Long Money, This Money, Fachaputa Vaca. I didn't know. I took a picture of it so I could bring it back home and maybe look up some of the music because I knew I wasn't going to listen to the playlist. I just wanted to see who it was, who's on what it was. And of course, there were names that I did know. And sometimes you'll catch something. Only thing they got to be careful with me is that as long as they don't cuss at me.
Yeah.
Just don't cuss at me because I never came up with music that needed to have a cuss in it. I only had the Isley Brothers had one song with a cuss in it, And then D'Angelo came with a song, and then
Right.
Angie Stone came with a song, but they were relevant to this. They didn't sound gratuitous. It was the way that the music was still there, because all the other cussing was done by Red Fox and Richard Pryor and Dolomite, and it was in the basement. And
everybody had their lane.
Until your parents left and you snuck and played it. You know what I'm saying? But so I know I'm just like I think you could tell the story without it. So a colleague and a friend, Virgil, shout out to Virgil Thompson. He works with me in the Alyson Williams team, and he has other artists.
Please tell Virgil I said what's up.
I will. And he got a new young lady that Lenny. I think he's giving a manager, and Lenny did an interview with her the other day, and I was doing something. I chimed in on something Lenny was doing, and I think her name is AOT, something like that.
Yes.
And so they sent me the picture, and this is what I said to Virgil. I said, Virgil, can she sing? And he said, yeah, she's pretty good. I said, but do you care? Because the picture that she had, if you see her, she's absolutely cute as a butt, gorgeous. But I wouldn't, if I was a dude, I wouldn't care if she could sing. I wouldn't care.
Yeah, because in her picture, she's squatting down, right? Like
she's squatting down with her hand between her legs. It gives you a very I'm sure I've seen Queen Bee do that. What's the first Queen Bee, the rap Queen Bee?
Little Kim.
Little Kim. It's very Little Kim.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that little. I'm not trying to say, Lil Kim, go ahead and do your thing, because that's what you do as a female rapper. That's the track y'all are on. But this girl's trying to tell me she's a singer. And this is what I saw, and I was like, if she couldn't sing, she probably still gonna sell some records, because she looked like she's selling punani. That's what she looked like she's selling.
Absolutely.
That's what it looks like. So and that's what basically. Then I listened to the single, and just before I could get into whatever the little hook was or whatever, she put the SHIT in there, and I was like, okay, well now there you go.
Yeah, and then shout out to the brothers. Lenny was introducing. Shout out to our brother Lenny Green. I tagged.
Oh yeah, to the Kingsman.
Yeah,
they were amazing.
Yeah, and I hope they call you.
I hope they do too. If not, I got their number. I know how to find them.
Okay, because you know me, all you got to do is say, "Yo, B," just press a cat a little bit. You know, I
know how to find them. That's in house.
Yeah, I
just met them. I mean, I just met them through the video, through the what do you call it?
Loving God. I'm going to say that for last. See if she does that. Willie Coop. He said, "Isley Brothers, a lot BS going down." Absolutely. Dana said, "Amen in this." You can tell the story without tell it well, without it, well put. Yeah, I mean, cursing, step up your vocabulary game. You know what I'm saying? Listen, when you listen, that's what I love right now. I see, I'm just make this statement, but when you see the evolution of an artist, then when he's into another bracket, like a Jay-Z and a 50 Cent, when they do interviews, they not cursing, they just talking. They straight corporate right now. Mm-hmm. Puffy is the only one that'll get a little tainted. Shout out to Puffy too, and we know him very well. But when you listen to Jay talk, he went from Unreasonable Doubts wearing gold chains to when you see Jay right now, he got a wedding band and one watch. I'm sure the watch costs a lot of money. There's one watch. 50 Cent, he's still 50, but he talking that talk. When he goes on The View and other shows, he dresses accordingly. That's when you talk about you're a businessman. Like another shout out to Fat Joe, another person is a businessman, but he still keeps it to the 100 with the streets. I mean, he's connected to them. And I know, Ali, you always talk about how Fat Joe loves you. Whenever he sees you, he always got to chase you down and get you, right?
And I'm always like, what makes Fat Joe love me? So I'm not saying that I don't understand it, because I know he's diverse in his musical appreciation, but he treats me like we used to hang. Yeah. And we didn't have that. We were in the same circles, but you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we had a history. So every time he comes to me, I'm always so amazed and so embraced. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
But
and if you out there, Fat Joe, I've been trying to catch you and nobody won't give you my number.
well, you know who the link is to that? We'll tell you, Lenny. But Lenny is linked to that for that. So make that.
I was also going to reach out to Ralph McDonald. So.
Yeah, I know Lenny and Ralph, Lenny and Fat are cool too. They converse, they text.
Okay.
Vera with the wonderful last name Foster. Girl, your family. She said, don't forget Millie Jackson. She created her own lane. Absolutely.
She did, and she created her own lane, and there's a time and a place for it. And I don't, and it had, where it could be played. I think the thing that's messing with me is, what was for adults is now for children. And it all makes sense. It's all good. And then people will say things like, well, they're going to hear it at home anyway. Well, that's their business, what they hear at home. Why should my child be able to hear it everywhere, though? I don't think my child should be able to be influenced that way. Because when a 6-year-old comes in and say, Jimmy kicked me in my butt or Jimmy kicked me in my ass, it's a different thing. You 6, what?
Yeah.
That's a heavy word for a 6-year-old, but they got it. And yes, they will hear certain things in the home. Once again, what you got going on in your home. What gets me is that sometimes, and I don't know why, I don't know whether it's a regulation that's been passed and I don't know it, or certain radio stations don't have to adhere to it. I can hear profane lyrics on the air, like they slip through, and I don't know how they do it. Right. But I know at the one time there used to be an advisory and the labels and stuff, and everybody wanted to say, "Oh, but you're trying to go against our freedom of speech." No, we're just trying to keep things where they need to be. This ain't for everybody.
Right. My man Jay
and
Duncan.
People need to know what's coming their way.
Right. My man Jay Duncan said, he said, just call my name as my joint. He says, I bet at his new shop in the BX, Fat Joe, my building neighbor, Forest Houses. Absolutely. Everybody give Alyson some hearts. Let her know we appreciate her. We love her. Vanetta, what's going on? What's happening, Bill? And she says, hello, Alyson. Now, loving God, he always asks the tough questions. I thought I was a good interviewer, but I think he always keeps me on my heels sometimes. He said, ask Alyson to sing I'm Trying Something New by A Taste of Honey. I don't know if you want her to do that on an album, or you talking about you want her to do that right now, but Alyson sing when she want to sing. The beautiful thing about Alyson is I love the fact that she calls, it is so embracing when she calls Malika and her mother, my mother-in-law, Mill, on their birthdays and sings happy birthday to them. And I get birthday calls too. I get a little singing, but you know what, Alyson always says that her talent, why wouldn't she show? Oh, he says now. How do you know?
I was hoping he meant to cover it because I don't know that song.
Yeah. But if you want to sing something, that's on you.
Bill, if he had been at one of my shows, you know how I play Stump the Diva, and I ask people what they want to hear, and if I can't sing it, I buy them a drink. So I'm gonna have to buy him a drink. I don't know that song by Taste the Honey. I do know Taste the Honey. But I always tell you, Bill, my greatest gift is the gift God gave to me. So why not give it to others? And so when someone asks or requests me to sing, most of the time, the majority of the time, I will just open up and sing because that's, that was given to me. So, but I do like, I try most times to be getting paid. But I don't mind singing. If I knew that song, tell him I would sing it. I was with a friend of mine, and we went by, we were at her parents' house, and they live on the golf course. And so they have a whole country club thing that they have, and they have a lot of diverse friends and what have you. And she took me by there for something, to meet with the people at country club. And she was introducing me to these folks, and they were like, "Hi, Kim." First of all, they thought I was Kim's mom because her mother's a fabulous, looking fabulous woman. And I was honored that they would think that, but I was like, but it was more the Black people look alike kind of situation. Absolutely. So they were like, "Oh, I don't have my glasses on," and blah, 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 blah. And so the woman says, "Oh, Kim's tells us that you sing. Will you sing for us?" Just like, Miss, I just walked up to this table.
Yeah.
You just met me. You didn't know who I was. You thought I was Mrs. Bynum.
Yeah.
But so when it happens like that, it throws you off a little bit. But in any normal situation, if somebody asked me to open my mouth and sing,
Well, let me tell you something. Loving God, he's really pushing that envelope. He says, ask her to sing. What's the song by Taste the Honey? Sukawaki or whatever the shit was, or whatever it is. I don't have me. Listen, you don't twist this tongue up.
Sukiyaki.
Yeah. I don't know if you know it, but he wants you to sing something. Well, tell him where you're gonna be so he can hear some of your songs too.
Okay, he should come to South if he's anywhere near Philly. My phone is getting ready to die. And the song, let's see, it's all because of you. I'm feeling sad and blue. Something, 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 something. Da 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 da. You walked away, and my heart. I don't know all the lyrics. I still have to buy you a drink. But you
That's
took
it.
your love away from me.
There you go, God. Loving God? Did you get it? You got it to sing to you, brother. You got to sing a song. Roscoe had your back though. That's my PD brother. Roscoe said Alyson Williams is the bomb.com and don't have to sing shit. She's already paid homage and did her thing. Jay Duncan in the building.
The management team. Listen, if my phone goes away or if I look different, it's because
give him some positive affirmation. We out of here.
Always love and light, peace and blessings, miracles and music, and above all, joy.
Absolutely. Real talk. Alyson Williams, Bill Foster.
Please
subscribe, share to it. Please. See you soon. See you Wednesday.
Hey, listen, chime in on Tuesdays. I love Notes with Alyson Williams on WHCR 8 to 10.
Tell him. All right. Talk to you later. Love you, sis. I'll talk to you later.
Love you.
That's Real Talk. That's Alyson Williams. I'm Bill Foster. Please subscribe to it, share it. The sponsors, Daily Arts and Survival Magazine, #1 martial arts magazine in the world. Ingram Taxes, Melba Wilson, Leon Ellis Chocolat, Soft Illusions Art Gallery, Reggie Wells Quality Speakers, and I am your host, Bill Foster, with Alyson Williams. Please, let's build the content. I appreciate all the comments and stuff. Love you guys, all my people, man. I appreciate you, man. That's what's up, man. Much love. Thank you. Give Alyson them hearts and love so she can go back and see it. I will put the copy on. Listen to the thing about the health with Dr. Marilyn Corder. I implore you to do that. That is very important. We are at the ages, everybody here, especially my people. Okay, thanks, Chris. I talk to you all about we can all look young, but our bodies inside have things going on unbeknown to us. So love you, Bill. Sylvia, absolutely. Yo, my Riverside crew, 644 and 640 in the building. Thank you, Big Bill. Appreciate you, sir. Absolutely. Come on. This Dr. Marilyn Corder show should be 10,000 likes. The stuff that she's giving you free. You can't, some of you can't even talk to your own personal doctors, physicians for an hour. Listen, I want you to support Real Talk Chronicles all the time. But when the doctors join, listen, pay attention, Real Talk. Black History Month is every month. Yo, listen, shout out to my people chiming in from all over the world, Europe, Mila, in Greece and all over the country, Yvonne and DR, Dana, my niece in Texas. Shout out to all of you. Ern is in South Carolina. Shout out to all of you showing the love. Sylvia, I don't know where you are too right now. You know, your airplane ticket is stamped all the time, your passport. So I appreciate all that. Shout out to all of you for supporting me, being with me. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm out of here. See you Wednesday when we come back. Listen, and let me just say this. You all know you can be a part of the show when I have Alyson or the doctor. All you got to do is text me or inbox me and say, yo, can I come on while the doctor there and ask him some questions? I always put you out there so you can have a real talk with any of my artists, Assemblyman, Alyson, the doctor, or me. You want to come in, just chime it up. That's what we do. Real talk. Listen, foster the moment with positive vibes only. I'm out. Peace.